Welcome on a very special day. We're super lucky with the weather. You're going to hear a lot of interesting, I'm almost ashamed to say background noise because it's definitely not noise, it's a background concert. There are so many birds around us. We're going to have some special guests probably. And we're here with the bird watchers, so we're going to also hear which birds they are. But that's not the reason we're here. We're here in a beautiful farm, one of the leading ones, I think, in the Netherlands. With the second episode, depending when you're watching this, if this ever turns into a series, of the Farmer's Philosophy series. And I'm very happy that Anne is hosting us today we couldn't have wished for a better background. So thank you so much for a better stage almost to have us here today and to accept our open invitation. Like, when can we come and put 2 chairs in your field and chat a bit?
Yeah, great that you're here, yeah.
So where are we, just to give a bit of context?
Yes, so we're at Bodemzicht Farm, which Google still translates as bottom view, but it's really meant to be soil perspective.
Soil perspective,
yeah,
okay.
So that first out of the way. We're right to the south of the city of Nijmegen in Malden, in the east of the Netherlands. And we're at a beautiful estate, the estate of Grootstal, 20-hectare estate. And we're a tenant here of over 5 hectares. We're now sitting in a very flowery May no-dig market garden with over 150 kinds of herbs, vegetables, flowers, seeds that we sell. And we are regenerating 5 hectares here next to the forest. Now mostly epic grasslands, I would say, but we're growing it into an agroforestry system. And we're also running our layers in chicken mobiles, with our holistic plant grazing throughout the parkour we set up on the land.
In terms of time context, when did you land here?
4 years ago.
Only 4 years, okay.
Only 4 years ago, yeah. And this is the 4th season.
The 4th
so you
season.
can say 3.5 years of farming on the ground. Sure. So we let people write down where are you financially, socially, experientially, and then it's sort of an inventarization of your life, basically. And then we let them. And
then you're surprised that big things happen after that, of course.
Yeah, things are happening. No, there I'm not too surprised, but for the tours, yes. So and then we get they answer basically 3 questions. In what kind of world do you want to live? What kind of life do you want to lead? And what are you committed to do to get there? So if you have these sort of on paper, then you can basically start to write under your quality of life statements, the life you want to lead, your ultimate to-do list. And then, things get pretty clear.
Yeah. And many people that thought a regenerative focused farm was fitting there might find out that it's not. Because it might not fit.
Yeah, exactly. And if people
Which is good, because that saves everybody a lot of time and resources and blood, sweat and tears and maybe other divorces.
Yeah, and there are also other spaces in the regenerative field where you can work. I mean, regenerative farming is never going to spread widely unless we also don't have regenerative economics and politics and a different educational system. So it makes total sense that we're not all farming, I think.
Which maybe is like an interesting answer to people that walk through the door here or through the gate and are curious, like you said, and interested and all sort of have in their mind, okay, the only answer is me starting a farm. And then actually the context might be maybe not, or maybe we have so many other jobs to fill and we need so many more people focusing on the food system. I think that's a general, and there are a lot of jobs to do. We need a lot more farmers, a lot more hands in and around the soil, but also we need new machinery, we need new technology, we need brands, we need delivery, we need distribution, we need
all those skills and knowledge and passions to make it happen. Basically, it's a paradigm change. I don't believe at all, and I think it's very important to say, I don't think there's an opposition between tech-focused farmers or life. Like, I think where we need to go, if you ask me what kind of world do you want to live in, I want to live in a world of abundance, full of life, because that feeds me, that nourishes me, but also I think that is the only security for us as human beings to simply exist and thrive also in the future. So I welcome all technology that facilitates that. But I do think that 9 out of 10 still things are being developed or startups are being made that not necessarily really facilitate life. And that's where the challenge lies. Like, okay, how can we actually come up with something that does exactly that? The thing that I find frustrating about the economic situation is that if you don't exploit your workers, your human workers, but also your more than human workers all around, your soil, the community, the climate, if you don't exploit that, you will always be more expensive than a farmer who doesn't necessarily take that into account. And what I find very frustrating is that I think poison-free, artificial pesticide-free, but especially nutritious, healthy, locally grown, nurturing landscape food should be a basic human right for everyone. Everybody should have access to this kind of food.
at least enough to sustain yourself.
Yeah. That should be the basic of what we share with our communities. And what I find frustrating is that I am unable to share that because of economic barriers. Because I don't want to pay anybody less than minimum wage. And the issue is that I cannot solve that. That's what I find one of the most frustrating things. Unless we get a true cost economy, I cannot bridge that gap. I think I would invest 50% of that crazy amount, it's not really my farm scale, in indigenous organizations that make a serious difference on the ground, protecting lifestyles and life in place, but especially indigenous women that are at the forefront of many battles being fought against some forms of exploitation. And the other half I would invest in agriculture. And also then, in startup farmers that want to make a real difference. So organizations like Lenteland who really make the difference by creating the opportunities for farmers to farm. Because I do think we need a lot more farmers. In the Netherlands, I think we can go up to 20% of people working again on the land. It would be amazing if you talk about what kind of world you want to live in. And also helping existing farmers who cannot make the transition because they invested everything in single-use infrastructure to help them bridge that gap, that transition gap, and help them out. So everybody who is willing to make that change basically in agriculture to support them on the ground. I know that I would let everybody wake up realizing that they are themselves an ecosystem. Everybody wakes up realizing that they live in
scary breakfast for many.
Complete reciprocity with the rest of life. If everybody wakes up like that, oh my God, we can start working towards a beautiful future in whatever field you're working, because you're gonna work with such a different consciousness and humbleness towards the rest of life. And you're gonna understand that if you take care of other beings in your place and communities, that you're actually taking care of yourself, I think, then I see a very bright future.
Thank you so much for, we're getting the church bells ringing for the end of the conversation, I think. And thank you so much for your time, taking the time on this precious morning to be with us and sharing some thoughts, some lessons learned, some surprises, some regrets, and some answers to magic wand and billion-dollar questions, or billion-euro questions.
Great for having you here. Thanks, Koen, and for the beautiful work you do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, for listening if you're on the audio version only. You can find this video on YouTube or in the links below. This was the Farmers Philosophy series where we sit down with leading regenerative farmers or farmers on a regenerative path and share not only about soil health, but much more than that, about life in general. What can we learn? What can we see? What can we observe when we get in touch with life again and understand we're all an ecosystem? So thank you so much for listening, watching, wherever you are, in whatever context, and hope to see you at the next one.